think also, though, when it comes to Republicans, voters always worry that they're going to bring their faith into their governing, and it's somehow going to influence their policy, whereas people view Democrats as keeping their faith as completely and entirely separate, not going to infiltrate policy. Great point, and I think that's why Santorum bothers a lot of people more than others. Romney is a religious guy. I mean, he's out there talking about God. He's talking about founding principles. But when Santorum does it, because he has some somewhat extreme positions on abortion, on some other social issues, I think that makes people more nervous when he invokes God and when he has these sort of preacher-like moments like he had there when we heard that when he was talking about Satan.
He talks about Satan,
right.
And you saw it as way too much. Why?
I have to admit that it bothered me a little bit. Now, there's two reasons why. The first reason was that I immediately put on my political commentator hat and said, oh my gosh, independent voters across the country just cringed. I happened to have been watching that with 3 independent voters who all cringed at that moment and said, oh my gosh, this is why this guy's a problem. He's going to bring religion into everything. I'm not religious. The other reason is that religion for me has always been a very personal thing. And I feel like I just felt like this was a bit much. I felt like when Ronald Reagan used to invoke it and used to talk about good and evil, it was a matter of presentation. He did it in a way that didn't marginalize voters, didn't make people feel uncomfortable. When Santorum does it, I feel like I'm sitting in a church and I'm listening to a preacher give a sermon, which makes me a little because this faith is the main way that they repeatedly paint Republicans as extremists and as nut jobs. So if you take faith out of it, you just have a whole bunch of people talking common sense, and that's a problem for them. So they have to bring faith into it, and they have to stigmatize someone like a Rick Santorum, who happens to be a real champion of faith, so to speak. I always use that. And I think it's a big problem, but we have to recognize it and just combat it, like you said. If it's a metaphor, you know, get this stuff out of the way and call it what it is.
Is it okay to say I want moral people in government, but I don't want government moralizing?
Yeah.
Because there's a huge difference there. There's a difference between